Must be ready because I've got mad.
That would have been out of context.
Oh, lost in space and time on a mission they were never meant to return from in
We're
a
back,
very, very darkly lit screen. The
that's
Comic
so
Shop
dark.
does a podcast
Aaron doesn't even exist.
with me and you and no lighting. Why is the lighting? I just adjusted the lighting too, and now there's no lighting.
What is Hey, my microphone's working. I think the sound effect was just so loud I didn't know if my mic was working. But I don't mind being in the.
No, your mic's not
mic's
working.
It is cutting in and out.
Wow.
Oh, here we go again, guys. Here we go again.
Check one. Okay, maybe I just won't touch the mic. That'll be the best course of operation here.
We have plenty of other things for you to touch tonight.
That is
Why are we
correct.
so dark. I just moved the lights.
It's
around, too.
summertime. We've been getting a lot of sun. That is why. Hey, everybody, you're listening to The Comic Shop Does a Podcast. You might be viewing us as well. Lots of things to look at tonight as our topic. It includes such characters as Lady Death, Vampirella, Razor, Witchblade, She, Purgatory, Witchblade.
Real quick though, we're here with a very special guest.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, and they're not on camera either. Look at that. Everything's a mess.
I'm getting ahead of myself here, but yeah, I'm Aaron Z. Lee, notable local instructor and artist myself. Evan Coy is fixing the cameras currently. Look at him go. He's doing a great job.
He is.
He's raised that camera a couple inches, and it's working out great.
Now it just looks a little crooked, so very good.
Raising the image a couple inches is definitely what this whole night's about.
Yeah, and so
Good one.
joining us as well, we have our very special T, who is a regular guest star.
Michael Callie.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're in opposite order today. I'm
I
not on the
know.
right thing. Okay.
That's right, and we have a very special guest star, who is A.
Gosh,
Hey,
this is
Martin
off
Kinney.
to a horrific start. Why is it so dark?
That's just the world today, man. But yeah, respectively, Michael Callie is T and Martin Kinney is A, and that's going to be what we're going to be looking
Wonder
at.
Twin
and
Powers
talking about
activated.
today.
We're TNA.
Absolutely.
There you go. Wonderful. That was actually the logo.
On this thing.
That was the logo I made for my wedding. Actually,
Because you're Aaron and Teresa.
that's right. Teresa and Aaron, as it should be.
Well, I didn't want it to get vulgar.
T ampersand A. That's right. Wow, look at him go. He's clicking the configuration of the video. He is customizing it, I think. He's increasing the brightness. Hey, there we go. Hey, we're looking pretty good. That might be the best we can do.
That might be the best we can do.
I'm not
Still looks dark.
it looks dark, but I'm not complaining.
All right. I give up. Let's call it a day.
We call it a day. We just got started. I like how every episode we start off with a tech. Oh no, I did it again.
Why is
I
that
did it
mic-
again.
Yeah.
Every episode we start off with the technical difficulties.
And it's always
and then
different
lean into it.
technical difficulties
Don't
too.
blink or anything. Just stare forward, and
As-
they'll think
as
that
soon
there's
as,
something wrong with the camera.
as soon as I figure out one thing that's wrong, something else breaks, and it's just this constant battle with all of this stuff.
It's a Jenga tower.
I wish I had somebody that knew what they were doing with this. I feel like I just barely can figure it out.
Yeah, it
And,
seems like a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. And then there's a hum in the background that drives me crazy. And I don't know. See, now the contrast is changing again on the TV. I don't know. What are we here to talk about today? Don't touch it.
Oh, sorry. I'm just so used to adjusting the microphone all throughout the podcast. I'll just have to do that. But yeah, anyway, tonight we're going to be talking about the bad girls of comics. We're talking about Vampirella, Lady Death, Razor, Witchblade, Purgatory.
Yo,
you know,
mama.
Thank you very much. This is a little illustration I put together this week. I
At
think
least the honks are working.
I think it came out pretty good. Yeah, we have successful honks. They're coming through loud and clear.
Hey, there's a birthday boy in the chat. Gentile fan club. Can I get another Michael Callie trading card? I traded my mint for 2 VG Martins. So
I think we can hook him up with something.
Do you want AI Michael Callie or do you want regular Michael Callie?
there's AI Michael Callie making a quick guest appearance.
Welcome
There's
back,
regular Michael Callie.
Welcome back, AI Michael Callie.
Michael Helen. Oh, yeah. I'm here. Awesome.
So sexy.
All right, so shall we get right to the honkin' business here? So, in order to understand the Bad Girl Comics art movement, we got to understand where that term came from, and in the 20s, 30s, 40s,
Yeah,
50s, and go until today. We've got the Good Girl Art Movement, also called GGA, style of artwork depicting
Is
women.
it really called GGA? I've never heard that term. before in my life.
Wikipedia told me that, so it must be true.
Have you heard that term? No, you were making that up.
Okay. comic strips and pulp magazines. The term was coined by the American Comic Book Company, appearing in its mail order catalogs from the 1930s to the 1970s, and used by modern comic experts to describe the hypersexualized versions of femininity depicted in the comics of that era.
Martin, what's hypersexualization?
I think the graphic on the screen right now tells us that.
Okay, let's go back to that then.
Yeah. So, did you want to go to the doc cam real quick?
Yeah, so we've got a kind of a modern example of good girl art from Frank Cho. Everybody loves Frank Cho.
And kind of.
You don't like Frank Cho?
Oh, I like Frank Cho, but
Okay.
I think that you could find some people. on the internet who
does
enjoy
everybody
him.
like Frank Cho? Yeah.
No.
Oh, I forgot this was the printed sideways because he was doing the strips. Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so
Strips.
I mean the way I interpret the good girl art is the quality of it, like that it's drawn in a pleasing way, that it's not a bad artist.
Also, it's tasteful, I guess would be the word. It's
like a Dave Stevens type.
it's fun and cheeky type.
Like that's a good
situation,
example.
yeah.
Like the bikini pin up there that's
Yeah.
at the bottom. That like it's yes it's boobs and butts, but it's done in that
Not
that-
vulgar way.
I always think of like the World War II, the pinups
Yeah,
that
yeah,
they're painting
yeah,
on
Betty
planes,
Page,
and
Betty Page
things like
stuff,
that.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's what I go to when I think of good girl art.
That's exactly it.
Almost your cheesecake.
Yeah, that's pretty much that.
Cheesecake.
Whereas the Bad Girl comics, comic books starring a female lead who is usually fan servicey to the point of being stripperific, often a vampire, witch, or other occult figure. Most certainly an anti-hero, usually of the 90s anti-hero variety. Some qualify fully as a villain protagonist.
Martin, what's stripperific?
It is an adjective used. To
Michael,
describe-
what's stripperific?
I would assume it's a terrific stripper or something with qualities of both a stripper and being terrific.
Cecilia, what's stripperific? Excellent. Excellent.
So there were some people on the road to Bad Girl comics here. We've got Frank Miller's Elektra. I think created in 1981?
I think so.
I'm gonna
I
say
think that's the
81.
number, yeah.
Bad Girl Ninja is Daredevil's love interest. The proto Bad Girl, Vampirella, created by Forrest J. Ackerman and Trina Robbins for Warren Magazines. First cover featured the character painted by Frank Frazetta. Considered the prototype.
Can we talk about Frank Frazetta for a minute?
No.
He's not a
Okay,
bad girl.
I'm sorry. No, but I do feel like is he obviously super influential in taking those fantasy type? Because what exists at that point in time when you're dealing with the Frank Frazetta? Like, does a Red Sonja exist? Do they?
I think
or,
Red Sonja exists.
Or are these just generic women in chainmail bikinis that don't really have characters?
Red Sonja's first appearance was in Conan the Barbarian 23, 1973.
Okay.
Yeah, so by 81, it's those kind of warrior women exist.
But I feel
Oh
like
my.
he's a. We didn't really talk much about him in preparation for the week, but I do feel like for Frank Frazetta, definitely captures that style of, painted superwoman
Yeah.
in skimpy clothing with sword and sorcery and
At the very least, he started popularizing that on both regular comic book covers and science fiction novels as well.
Yeah, pulp book covers.
pulp books. So he kind of got that image into people's eyes, and we had a lot of people start to use him as an influence. We got the people like Joseph Michael Linsner, and people copying that wonderful painted style.
Yeah, and he was doing romance comics in the 50s. He did EC Comics. So he's out there, and he's part of what was it, the Fleagle gang or whatever? Those guys who would hang out and work on stuff together, like Al Williamson and such. And he probably would come in and work on the female characters in order to lend his expertise to their illustration.
So Vampirella came out in 1971, allegedly.
boy, I feel like
No, 1969. I'm sorry, 69.
I'm sorry. What year?
69.
1969.
69.
Okay.
Well done.
69. Summer of.
So we've got some.
And that's we're gonna trace that back to that's the start of
That I would say that she is the prototype for what Lady Death is. That's kind of a cult figure who is dressed in a little skimpy outfit, who has a strong assertive attitude.
Well done. Lady Death created as a character in Brian Polito's Evil Ernie comic book, visualized by Stephen Hughes.
Now hold on a second.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
going too fast. You're going,
Going
too
too
fast.
fast?
You are. Let us talk about the things on the page.
Yeah, because I do think that going from Vampirella to Lady Death, we're skipping over a good 20 years of the evolution of this type of character. And really, yes, once we get to Lady Death and things like that in what did we say, 1995, 1996?
Lady Death?
Lady Death first
91.
appeared.
Was 91?
believe it's 91.
Okay, but still, I think we're jumping 20 years here in terms of the development of these type of characters.
Okay,
right?
well, fill it in.
Martin, go.
So Lady Death came out in 1991.
Which is after 1969.
No, but
That's correct.
you know, in the midterm between that time, you did have these characters like a Red Sonja and things like that appear in Marvel books and things like that aren't necessarily coined as Bad Girl. And I guess
Yeah.
Vampirella wasn't coined as Bad Girl at the time,
No, because
That
that's
was-
a term from the 90s.
which we said was like a wizard actually coined it.
No, it was first used on the cover of
Wasn't it
Lady
Razor?
Rawhide.
Lady
Yeah.
Oh, Lady
Number
Rawhide,
one,
that's
yep.
right.
And that was a Topps comic in
Topps comic,
1995.
The spin-off of Zorro. You're doing great. Let me throw a honk in there for
Yeah,
you.
go. Thank you. Just honk until I find it. Bad Girls Go to Hell, Barbed Wire, Mantra.
Martin, while you're looking, I'll throw in a little bit of Lady Death background because we've got that Lady Death was created as a character in Evil Ernie. I can't speak on behalf of anyone that was a teenager in the 90s, but I feel like one of the reasons that Lady Death really resonated with the male community of that time period is she was created as kind of the dragon you can never catch. Evil Ernie is always trying to do things to get her affection, sort of akin to how Thanos deals with death in the
Oh, that's an interesting
in the,
analogy.
yes, in the Infinity War. So if you're an impressionable teenage boy, you're reading this book about a teenage boy who is willing to do anything for a beautiful woman.
Is
and
Evil
it's
Ernie a
really-
teenage boy?
Yeah, he's 17.
I didn't know that.
He was.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Oh, wow.
he's 17, and he was just so despicable that they gave him the electric chair before he was an adult. That's really his origin. Then Lady Death claimed his soul, resurrected him specifically to start killing people, so she could start an invasion of her deaf people on Earth. And that's how Evil Ernie came to be. And then it just kind of went into the bad girl territory from there, and Evil Ernie started to cross over into everything else with Lady Death and Purgatory and all of that.
Am I wrong for trying to shoehorn Red Sonja into this at this
No,
point in
I
time?
wouldn't
Because
think
I don't
So-
think so. No.
because I do feel like we're dealing with a lot of Vampirella being a vampire, Lady Death, like these are demonic, whatever. Whereas Red Sonja, I guess in that time
She's
period
fantasy,
is
she's-
more fantasy, and
there's-
maybe that's
yes.
not.
But there's magic mythology type
Yeah,
stuff and painted in that, and she's wearing a metal bikini. So
You've got
Yeah, I think that
Sheena,
qualifies.
or
Assertive attitude, if we're going for that.
Mhm.
Yep.
you've got all the Jungle Girl characters that are adjacent to
Yeah,
that
like-
also.
yeah,
Rim of
Rim
of the
30s
Jungle
and
Girl.
40s.
Yeah,
Yep.
Rim of the Yep.
Rima,
Is it Rima?
Yep.
Rima, and is it Shanna the She Devil?
Yeah.
that one?
That's
Mhm.
one of
Two?
them.
Yeah, there's-
Although she's more of a has to be saved by Kazar type character,
yeah, fair enough.
whereas to be a bad girl, you kind of have to stand on your own.
Well, there's
Fair
that
enough.
whole era of the Jungle Girls
Yeah.
who were in that kind of thing.
That's almost a side note.
Is that like adjacent to that though? That
I would
like,
say-
th-
I
now
would
that
say
I'm
it's
thinking
adjacent.
about it, that's kind of interesting because again, my mind goes there is like that's the evolution of the character, but no, maybe that's evolving or is evolved into its own thing.
There's
Even
some
though
other-
there's some character traits that like boobs
Yeah.
that cross over between the two worlds.
So it was 1994. March of '94 was the first use of Bad Girl on the cover of Lady Rawhide, and then Wizard 35 is when they
55.
35.
Oh, do we have the wrong
We
wizard?
had the wrong wizard.
I was going to say Wizard 30. We were looking up the first use of that in Wizard, and then we were looking yesterday for Wizard 55.
And 38 is the bad. It has a Bad Girls feature, which I do have on my PDF here.
We do have
wonderful.
some other wizards that we can look through as well. But once you get into that 1990s, 91 seems early for me. 94, 95, I think now all of a sudden we're in the middle of the bad girl craze, which was just weird to me as a kid. This never appealed to me as a kid. I was more into superhero type stuff, but it was unavoidable. Then in like every wizard, there were ads for the latest busty anti-hero woman in a chainmail bikini fighting vampires and drinking blood, and which they were strong characters, but I don't know, I just felt like I couldn't bring a comic like that home
Oh, certainly
And
not.
yeah, I don't know.
From that Wizard article, for years, the conventional wisdom in comics has been that female characters can't succeed in their own books. After spirited efforts with protagonists like Wonder Woman and She-Hulk, companies resign themselves to the fact
Holy
that their
moly.
largely male audience largely wants to read about large males. Female characters had a place, of course, but the cover, logo, and Wizard top 10 were not it.
Here's some boobs.
Another truth that has fallen on hard times is the rule that females don't sell. Catwoman scratched its eyes out. Mantra cast a lethal spell on it. Lady Rawhide whipped it. She chopped its head off. Vampirella drained its blood, and Lady Death finished it off. These women all feature prominently in new comics and are giving male heroes like Spawn, Wolverine, Batman a run for their money. Suddenly, the battle for the reader dollars has become a battle of the sexes. That's from summer of '94.
That's interesting. It said that the male readers gravitated more towards the male characters,
Because it's like the He-Man factor with where you.
and I was not. That could be another thing because it's like I would gravitate towards like the Hulk
Yeah.
or something like that, where maybe subconsciously as like a 13-year-old boy, that's what you
the
want to
power
be.
fantasy, yeah.
You
Yeah.
want to be the big strong. And the busty woman, maybe for me as a 13-year-old kid, that's intimidating, or that's like something that's like too much of a fantasy that it's not.
She's too nice of a lady.
She's a very nice lady.
Or you gravitate towards the monsters and stuff like that.
Because you're a monster.
Because you're a monster
Yeah.
inside.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Monsters have always appealed to me, like a Frankenstein. It's like, oh, hey, there's a CD in the back of this.
Oh,
That is-
wow.
Yes, there is.
Wow.
I
What is
haven't-
that?
I have not
Cutting-
listened
cutting
to
edge.
it.
Is that the Purgatory?
Yeah. that
Signed
is-
by Vlad.
Oh, DJ Vlad. He does hip hop interviews
Scott?
on YouTube.
Scott Vladimir
The Impaler.
Lycra. Yeah, but at least Jim Ballant did all the artwork in this. Jim Ballant.
Jim Ballant signed that book. Look at that.
Yeah,
Yes, he did.
famous for Catwoman. Certainly making a career out of doing this type of artwork. Ever since, highly successful. Still.
I wish we had this.
still-
I wish
still
we had
living
this
the
out
life.
earlier in the week instead of just today when I realized it.
Do you want to do the roll call through like what I've got here?
Yeah, what
first
do you
before I
what do
bring
you,
some more?
what have you got next on your slide? Or do we still want to talk a little Lady
well,
Death?
I thought
He was
going
gonna
to
flip through some
Yeah.
doc-cam.
Okay, let's go back.
Docky.cam.
Yeah, so we've got Lady Death here. Number one, this is the Dragon Wars. Nice traditional media by Dark One. Shy the series.
Which I always pronounce. It's fun working here and working with
She-
you guys and
she,
getting to know
shy.
all of the things that I mispronounce, like
I-
calling shy for
Yep.
30 years.
She shy.
I think, well, Rob Liefeld calls it she, but I don't know. I
So does
called it-
everyone else.
No, I
She.
mean,
So I'm saying it wrong.
She.
It's she.
It's she.
Okay, just making sure. But J.G. Jones did the artwork on this. I think this is right before he did work for Marvel with the Black Widow miniseries. So that's got great art in there. Vampirella versus Purgatory. This is a very recent one
yeah.
through Dynamite. Much more modern style on the cover. It seems incongruous because I associate this kind of thing more with this style than the style. But, you know, they're trying something there. And Witchblade. There we go. That's Mark Silvestri's
Heyo.
entry into the ring.
A late entry into the ring, sort of.
Yeah, he got into it, you know, enough to make some money. But Witchblade is certainly when Top Cow starts to, you know, get noticed for a particular thing.
Yeah, and she's she's a top tier. She falls more in the slightly tasteful range,
Yeah.
despite that cover.
That cover's pretty,
yeah,
pretty.
w-
Woo.
which we picked on purpose
We did.
because we need ratings, we need
Oh,
the views.
So do you want me to keep moving on through these?
Yeah. Do you want to keep, or do you have anything else you want to add?
I was just trying to respond to Teresa.
All right, let's keep going.
Keep going.
So we've got prominent bad girl characters. Razor, created by Everett Hartsoe in 1992.
Oh, I was about to give you a Raven comic for that, thinking it was Razor, but that's not correct. So
No,
we'll
that's
just-
well. There's so many derivatives, right? Like you see the success of these type of things,
Cyblade.
and people throw in Raven here. This is by Renaissance Comics.
everybody loves Renaissance.
I kind of
comics.
love like this. The signature is printed on here.
Oh, that's not even signed.
No, it's the signature's printed on the cover. But like early desktop publishing, like bad Photoshop color, like
Oh
someone.
God, that lettering's horrific.
Yeah,
it was a
every-
really fun book to look
everything
through.
is really pixelated. Like, but
That's bad.
it's kind of wonderful too, though. It's kind of liberating as a creator to see the like, oh yeah, there's comics that look like this out here. So it's like, if I make something, it'll probably look better than this. So I mean, that's
Yeah.
American naive, I guess, is what they call that kind of style. You know, where they're trying to do something, not quite hitting the mark, but you can't fault them for trying.
Let's keep going.
I keep going through.
No, whatever,
just
we'll go on.
go through the slides.
Yeah.
So we also have She, created by Billy Tucci in 1993. What's interesting about
So I pronounced She's name wrong, and I would pronounce his name Billy Tushy. So there was 2 mispronunciations. By
Shy
me.
Tushies.
Yes, which
They're
I
out
thought,
there.
I don't know. I just thought it was funny that his
Lalia
last
Star
name,
Factor is what we call that. The
Lalia Star. Yeah, I pronounced that book's name incorrectly for 5 years. I bet.
Well, you should be very proud of that. Another prominent bad girl, Angela, created by Neil Gaiman in 1993.
Do you want to talk us through Angela?
I did not do my homework like I should have, but
No, you're fine.
Angela is an angel that was sent to Earth to kill Al Simmons, better known as Spawn or the Hellspawn, and she fails at her mission.
She is in
she-
Bill Tushy's character.
No,
Angela fails
Angela-
so badly that they boot her over to the Marvel Universe later.
Essentially, you're correct. They go back and forth for quite a few rounds. It crosses over into some assorted miniseries, but the ultimate resolution there isn't one because the character is owned by Marvel, so we never get to find out what happens to Angela after her brief battles with Spawn in the early issues of the series.
So this is actually an interesting character if we're talking bad girl, because I feel like this bridges the gap between the sword and sorcery type Red Sonja that I'm thinking of, and also the undead. Not. I guess there's vampires and Spawn, but the undead,
Afterlife.
demonic
Yeah.
demon. So it has a little bit of both, actually.
Plus,
Yeah,
kind of
but
the superhero meld too in there.
Yeah, that's
And
yeah.
they
Plus,
haven't-
plus a superhero.
And the Heaven Hell battles and stuff. Lady Death has a bit of that too.
Yeah, but Lady Death wasn't born out of a superhero comic.
No,
No,
It was
That's
born
true.
out of
she
a
was
more.
she was
horror comic.
yeah.
Yeah.
And where she stayed for a very long time.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because again, there's getting into this thinking that there's bad girl is bad girl, but there's just like anything else, there's different slices of all of this stuff that you could argue is its own subgenre.
And like anything else, pieces of that bad girl stuff do make their way into comics now, where
Well,
we have
this is a pretty
the
iconic
assertive,
pose,
the
right?
assertive female character who is much different than her 50s, 60s, 70s counterparts.
Do we
Great.
want to talk about some of those, or we want to kind of go through
no.
some of more of these before we get to like how it influenced Marvel and DC?
Some cutting edge art in here by Greg Capullo.
It's only
though.
6:25. We got plenty of time. Aaron can flip.
Well, I'm trying to get. Or I'm going too earlier. I was going too fast. Now I'm going too slow.
No, you're doing
No, it's just that two of us really can't see what's going on, so it's kind of hard to
Oh, I see
conversate
what you're
about
saying.
what's on there.
Well, Greg, you would know Greg Capullo to be a good artist.
Who?
Right? Greg Capullo.
I'm not familiar.
Are you really?
No, I'm lying.
Oh,
All right.
He drew Batman.
that made that segment go by great.
Mhm.
Thank you.
All right, who do we got next? This next slide that you have, boy, that's
Do we have it?
such an iconic cover for me.
The next one.
Yes.
Give it a honk.
That it's just so wildly misproportioned, and I just remember
So-
seeing this as a kid, going
Oh, we
like,
have it.
what is like. I get it that it's the boobs and butts and the swords and the sexy, powerful ladies, but
So,
like this
yeah.
cover is so out of whack.
Wrong.
Who did the artwork on this thing? John
So-
Stinsberg.
So
Let's
this
go- let's go
bad girl stuff started to pop sales wise. They're all
that
over the
cover.
Wizard top 10. So everybody had to try and get in on this sudden cash flow, and to obviously varying effects, as presented here by the wonderful Evangeline and Glory.
Yeah, 1993 and Glory 1995, created by Rob Liefeld, respectively.
And even in the book, there are ads for other bad girl type things, and they're just such clones of one another. It's just
Look at those lens flares. Yeah. Anybody else use Photoshop in the 90s and like think that was really cool? for a minute?
yep. That was my one art course I took, digital art in 2000 or 2001. That's all we did was do lens flares in Photoshop.
Now,
Yeah.
all bad girls are also mutants because they have a serpentine spine that does not have any bones or anything in it.
And giant eyes so they can see very well in the dark.
Giant what nose?
Eyes.
Oh, eyes. They're up there.
Yes.
They have really big hands.
Really big hams. 2 hams.
Usually
That was a
smaller
visual
feet.
joke for a podcast.
I know, it's great.
I'm gonna describe what I'm doing on the podcast. This looks very much like a Roger Cruz.
Yeah, like what's
a
the go back a page. Maxi Mage.
Maxi Mage?
Like they're all the same. I don't even remember that one coming out.
A
No,
power as
it
old
might
as
not have.
time, a guardian risen from the ashes. Story by Rob Liefeld and Eric Stevenson. Art by Luke Ross.
Eric Stevenson went
Luke
from
Ross.
Maxi Mage to publisher of Image Comics. God bless.
Look at these circular gradients and these speech bubbles. That's, man, but everything looked like that at this time. Like all the Marvel stuff looked like that too at the same time.
I think we should have the gray laptop open next time.
The gray
think so,
one?
too.
Well, yeah, so we can actually have like a so we
Yeah,
can actually
again,
see what's going on.
Evangeline.
And
like-
Prophet.
but again,
I
it's just
have
it's
that.
another babe
book
with
did
a
come out.
another babe in a bikini with a sword.
A hunk and a babe this time. Like Wizard Magazine always wanted.
Brutes and babes.
Roots and babes.
Oh no, there was a hunk of the month and babe of the month for a while.
That's
Yeah.
right. Oh, we can turn the
Mrs.
we
Lee is
go.
requesting that we do a good boy, bad boy next week.
good boys and bad boys. So, we're turning the page again.
Oh, I hate that.
Ooh, a nice explosion. That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
That's the most fun part of the whole.
Just a
the whole
skull.
Thing. It was just very generic, I thought, just from the flip through. It looks like everything.
Oh, it's
else being
trash. It's
published
utter
in the
trash.
mid-90s.
This book to me though epitomizes
Yeah, it's,
the Image Comics bad girl trend of not Image Comics but the bad
in
girl
general,
trend
yep.
of the 1990 1994
every company
5.
had some.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should get. There's a local professor here at our local university who's written
a
several
bad girl?
papers on. No, who's
By
written
night.
several papers on this type of artwork and the depiction of that. It'd be interesting to have her on and do a discussion with this.
The exploitation.
Specifically with Rob Liefeld, right? She gets into it with Rob Liefeld.
Mhm.
And Rob has addressed this before on his podcast or no?
Oh, has he?
I don't know.
I don't think he has.
It may not be, but it's
If he
one of
has, he did it multiple times in the same podcast.
Yeah,
He likes to repeat himself in his podcasts.
he does.
The same
he does.
information over and over again.
I still find it entertaining for the
He's
most
as,
part.
as well.
It is. It's very informative.
In fact, I listened to his Bad Girl podcast on this. Once originally, and then again, just to get some frame of reference on
I
this
would have
again.
listened to that this week if I knew.
Oh well, I don't tell you the important things.
You don't. You don't.
That's something I intend to continue to do.
It's a problem. It's a problem we have with communication, but we'll work on that.
It
We'll work on
increases
that.
the quality of the overall podcast.
It does. It does. Everybody having
what
secrets.
else have we got coming through here? We've got. Do you want me to go to the next slide?
Yeah.
Here we go. So, so this influence even extends to Marvel and DC. We've got Catwoman by Jim Ballant, who did that Purgatory, which I think was actually the strongest thing in here that I looked through. I think his artwork really carries that.
Jim Ballant was good.
Yeah.
I mean,
great.
he
He's
still
good at what he does.
He
Yeah,
still
he's-
does a book,
Tarot.
which has been running for like 200 something issues.
Yeah.
Holding the line at 299.
It's increased recently. I think. Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
So yeah. So the bad girlisms spread into DC and to Marvel. The funnest example on the Marvel side is you took the mother of the Marvel universe and dressed her like that.
And you gave her a boob window.
She's got even the Fantastic Four. We got he's got the mask on,
Yes, he does.
See?
and she's got the window.
See? We had a discussion earlier that
No, you know what it was? It was the cover I saw that came up later was the second battle between Hulk and Thing. That's why he was already scarred in that.
You
had
mean
a
Wolverine in the thing?
Did I say Wolverine? Did I
No.
say yeah.
You said Hulk.
Oh, Hulk. Wolverine. Yeah, Wolverine and the Thing. It was the second battle in that.
we had a
I didn't know
discussion did
that.
the boob window take place at the same time that Thing was wearing a helmet? And I thought it did, and Martin thought it did, but then checking Wikipedia or whatever.
No, I was going through the covers and I saw the battle between Hulk. Wow, I did it again. Wolverine and Thing, and I just forgot that he'd already been scarred at that point.
And this
He had
is the-
taken the helmet off.
And this is the era where I pick up my first Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously. Why
Well-
wouldn't you?
What a weird choice, though, to take the mother of the MCU and like sexualize her.
Yeah, and give her a giant gun and
Because the skin tight costume wasn't enough.
no. And this costume lasts between 12 and 14 issues before she gets pants, her and a real top that's sleeveless. But yeah, it's not only this time period is where they're trying to exploit the extreme and the bad girl type stuff, but they're also desperate for sales because all of Marvel's flagship non-mutant books are just suffering to the point where they get Hero Reborn. But
Yeah.
yeah, this is I think is an extreme example of trying to exploit your female character for a couple extra issue sales.
I love that vest that Reed Richards is wearing.
Yeah, his pouch vest on the stretchy guy. Yeah,
It's like the dorkiest way to add more pouches.
It's just editorial having fun, I think.
If you told me that was Nick Fury, I'd believe you.
And I know it's dorky because I wear a vest at work with pockets. So
Now, unlike, so let's talk about Catwoman a little bit, because Invisible Woman, yes, she's been sexualized and turned into this bad girl character,
Which is completely against character.
which is completely against character, and it's also not associated with who drew this.
That was Paul Ryan. That was.
But
yeah.
you don't associate Paul Ryan with bad girl.
No,
art.
this is editorial.
Whereas Jim
Malice Aforethought.
Jim Ballant
Yeah.
at DC, you associate the character Catwoman, but you also associate, I think, the artist with he was the bad girl artist at DC. Whereas Marvel, I don't think had a bad girl
No, I don't think
artist.
they did.
They were trying to turn their characters into bad girl characters, but they didn't really have anybody that.
well,
Like, I don't think you could do Catwoman at Marvel.
I mean-
Could you go that far?
Well, I think
with
Rob,
like her
Rob Liefeld and Jim Lee kind of started to put a bit of that into their books before they left for Image.
to the extreme that Catwoman was?
No, but there's definitely like pinups of like style stuff of like Psylocke and etc. And
Catwoman also has that kind of flirtatious, almost like she was. I don't know. I don't want to say it'd be the cheesecake good girl thing throughout the Silver and Silver Age, but
That folds out actually.
oh, does it?
Yep.
Okay, hey, we do
There
have an
you go.
extension there. Yeah,
so that's a little bit more natural in the evolution.
Yes.
Like Elektra, also from Marvel, she around that time got a book and her little
That to me is much more
Yeah.
bad girl than Sue Storm.
Sue Storm.
Oh, yeah, it makes more sense.
Polaris ended up getting a costume for like 2 issues before they realized what a huge mistake that was.
Why was that a huge mistake?
it just didn't work. It didn't
Yeah.
work character wise. Didn't work story team wise.
I just don't know Polaris' background that much, so that like if it was really a departure from who she is.
Yeah.
or-
Can I point out something I really like about this artwork that has nothing to do with Catwoman is the this kind of scratchy detail that comes down in that green color. That's really working for me in this image. I like that.
Is it like a Tim Sale type thing, or I
Yeah,
can't.
little
I
bit.
can't tell the
Little
detail from
bit.
back here. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit of a Tim Sale type thing, and all those cats on there. That's some nice detail. That's a nice piece of art. Jim Ballant, he's got some chops.
Hey, if you want to keep flipping through this wizard, actually, because I do think there's plenty of bad girl stuff that's in here.
Well,
The
in
kind of-
memoriam, Jack Kirby.
oh, actually, maybe this isn't the best one.
No, it's the Fantastic
Yeah,
Four
let's
cover
do,
one.
let's do the Fantastic Four one instead. I think there's much more bad girl in here, actually.
Okay. Oh, okay. Here we go. All right, so we're going through some. Oh yeah, we open it up, and there we've got Angela and Glory, not Evangeline. No, it's Angela. So we have interchangeable bad girl types.
There's a couple of interchangeable Blade ones too
Yeah,
that Maximum
Cyblade.
Crush is doing, where it's like it's the same name with 3 extra letters, and it's a different character.
Cyberblade. Is that one of them? I don't know.
Speaking of bad
Cyblade,
girls,
close
this is
Cyblade, yeah.
this is kind of the anti bad girl, the Death miniseries from Neil Gaiman and Chris Picciolo. That's out of all the Sandman stuff. That's probably my favorite stuff.
Nick Gentile fan club. I see the ads for all these comics and the James Bond one. By the way, for King and Country is 2 issues in by the best I've read, and then Heavy Face Bear says Catwoman kept it classy. She was the original DC Aristocat that owned her own sexuality. Pun intended.
Yeah, so we got some Vampirella here with a Joe Quesada cover.
All of these issue 50s and 60s wizards are just
Yeah.
every 3
Littered
pages.
with it,
It's
yep.
it's the next bad girl. It's the contest. It's the the boob and
Oh,
butt.
Strangers in Paradise. Not quite bad girls, but definitely a female-led book that's really successful. I've been enjoying.
Go for it.
So, since we're talking about the contests, if you take a look at the She comic book we looked at earlier, there's actually an ad in the back for your best She tattoo.
Oh,
You
boy.
would win a prize if you submitted the best tattoo of said character, not because they wanted people to get the tattoo, but because so many people were putting bad girls on their body at this time period.
I'm sure.
Choices.
Silvestri covers She.
It's in the back
Humberto
there
Ramos
somewhere.
too.
It was quite the
Tattoo contest,
read.
yeah.
There it is. Yeah, tattoo contest.
Just to really further cement just how big of a deal this bad girl trend was.
I do like all these ads, like for the property in the back of the book.
To me, this is how this product existed. I never read these books.
I really didn't either.
It was
I didn't
just
know they
I was just
existed.
a barrage of ads trying to get me to buy the next bad girl book.
I read some Witchblade. I like Darkness much better. which is even funnier when I'm going back to Teresa asking about doing a male version of this podcast topic. You had Witchblade wearing
There's
that
Witchblade.
costume, which was nothing, and then you had Darkness, who was covered head to toe, literally.
Yeah,
So it's kinda
interesting
like, yeah.
dichotomy there. So we've got some action figures. We got Magic the Gathering. Does anybody play that anymore?
Oh, it's awful. See, here's
Oh,
another
She
sheet.
haiku contest. You can write a haiku for She.
Wow, you can get a tattoo with a haiku on it, and you can do both at the same
Whoa.
time.
You could win both contests in one little effort.
You could, yeah. You get
Wow.
you get the haiku tattooed on you with she.
There you go.
A haiku tattoo.
Good Green Lantern, all right.
That's
Oh,
the name
yeah.
of that's the new name of my '90s bad girl character.
Haiku tattoo.
Haiku
tattoo.
tattoo. There's some great stuff with. I mean, this is off topic, but the expressions and stuff from Greg Capullo.
Off topic. When have we ever done that?
Oh, here we got some more.
Again,
Some
look,
more
all the
bad girl
the
art.
fan
Yeah.
art is Psylocke, Lady
Mm.
Death.
Aeon Flux.
She.
Oh, Angela is a man. So here's your
Mangela.
Here's your hunk. There we go. There's your bad boy.
This is all just pinups of bad girls, though.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. Oh, well, we've got to call out this Weapon X Wolverine here from Age of Apocalypse. I mean, it's pretty much a tracing of the Adam Kubert, but still. Yeah, and then the homemade heroes. It's all. We got Tank Girl, Mystique, Wonder Woman.
I keep looking
Gen
at the screen
13
thinking that's
Gen
what
13 was
he's
one
talking
that,
about, what I can see, but no.
Kind of played with the good girl stuff. Dirty Pair from Adam Warren.
Oh, Dirty Pair. Wow, forgot about that one.
Yeah, I think a lot of that stuff's out of print now. Some manga or anime and all that stuff. Man, so much stuff looked so much the same. Just like very derivative of derivative of derivative.
Well, I feel like that's what the bad girl stuff was, though.
Oh,
It was
definitely. It was-
Derivative of derivative of derivative.
And it was all carbon copies that became less and less original each time.
Hey, give her
Word.
give her a sword or give her a
Alright.
gun.
Because you can do a successful TNA book and have an actual story plot and good
Again,
characterization.
Vampirella 1/2 you can get in this wizard. It really is like every 4 to 5 pages is another bad girl thing.
This art's pretty nice though. And there, I don't know about that, but the other stuff is
I
good.
never really redeemed many of those half things.
I don't think I did any of them.
I think the only ones I ever got were the ones that came with the book itself.
Yeah.
I think they got smarter and were just like, okay, let's just publish it in there. Oh, here's Lady Rawhide 1/2. Death. Here we go again. Captain America. He's a good boy.
Well, what's the top 10 in there, too?
Did I pass it yet?
No, I don't think so. Because I feel like the more
Dawn.
Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
I always saw ads for Dawn. I have never.
Yeah,
read
maybe
it.
you did pass it. But I feel like the top 10 books, like, again, half of them are all these bad girl books. That it's fine. We can move on.
Yeah, we can move on. Anything good in the very back? Oh, Paul Chadwick, baby.
Worth a shout out.
Classic.
Shout out to Paul Chadwick.
Yeah, I love Concrete and all his stuff.
Tell us about the Vampirella film.
So, 1996, this is released. Roger Corman Production Company. Jim Wynorski directed the film. He's directed such high points of cinema as Chopping Mall, Return of Swamp Thing, among many, many others. If you look him up on Wikipedia, you'll see he's got quite a filmography.
Chopping Mall's great.
I
It
agree.
is great.
The soundtrack is exceptional on that thing, too.
I would agree.
I love that Callie knows all the weird movie references.
That's great.
You sold them all on eBay.
I did sell them all on eBay.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, that's what I did with all my old horror movies. I watched them a couple times, and now they're in someone else's home, bringing them lots of joy.
You know, that's probably smart.
Yeah.
Declutter your life.
I'm sure he was very proud of his Vampirella movie, though, right?
No, he said that Vampirella was the only movie he regretted making.
That was good, Evan. That was good. That was good. That was good. Oh,
And
thank you.
here's a classic scene where, of course, Vampirella is in the home of a dork.
A little known fact, I don't think it made it on your thing, is that Depends Undergarments actually had an endorsement deal with this movie.
Did they?
Yep, they helped with the costume.
Are you being serious?
No. I read at the time that the
You are being serious.
The fans of Vampirella did not like this because it was not accurate enough to the comic.
Well, because the costume that she has in the comics can't be worn in real life. There's nothing
Right.
like. It's a special effect.
Michael Kelly begs to differ. Go put it on your costume.
Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Kelly. No, I'm just kidding. But her name is Ella in the movie up until this happens and her fangs come out or something like that, and he's like, Vampirella, the vampire girl, and like that's the incontinuity in the movie way that.
So this
she
movie
becomes
might be
Vampirella.
worse than Spawn.
It's pretty bad. I didn't want to
Spawn.
spend my time to watch it. There was a Lady Death animated movie too, which was
Yep, that was from the
2004.
the cross-gen era.
It was fine.
What was that?
It was an anime movie. It was a medieval thing.
For cross-gen's version of Vampirella, it was
Lady Death.
Lady Death. I need more caffeine. Lady Death. It was they tried to make it a bit more accessible to mainstream, so they came up with this medieval version of her, who was. Did you read them or?
I skimmed through them. I was
Okay.
hoping Miss Cecilia would read them, but the art is really great. They follow an actual story. There's a good team on it. It's not just another throwaway. Look at how many beautiful women we can draw in this one book.
So they got Greg Land to do it.
I can't remember who they got to do it. Ivan Reese. They got Ivan Reese.
Oh,
to
did
do
they
it.
really? Did they?
Yeah.
Ivan Reese.
So they just kept him just kept him rocking
Yeah.
on all those
Yeah,
properties
they did.
forever. Well, you know what?
If
Steady
it's-
work.
I've got the top 10 comics from issue 38 or whatever it was. It was Gen 13, Lady Death, She, Gen 13.
Gen 13, we don't qualify as.
No,
there was
that's
no-
cheesecake. Yeah, that's
Is that
that's more cheesecakey
Okay.
Yeah,
superhero.
Velocity
Yeah.
Silk Cheesecake.
Death Blow, Vengeance of Vampirella, another Gen 13, Amazing Spider-Man, Kindred, and another She.
Yeah, I mean it's just
So those. So She. Did you have anything on She?
Just kind of a funny little side note, because we've been talking about what makes a character a bad girl, because we talked about a character named Kabuki earlier on in the week, and she's bad girl adjacent, but not a bad girl. It's really funny to me that two characters could have, because she and Kabuki share a very heavy like Japanese
Backstory,
mythology
yeah.
backstory origin. Both of them were
they
wrong.
crossed over too, right?
They had
probably,
to have. They're-
probably.
Or is it like when Doctor Strange and Iron Man cross over, where they're like,
I
he's
don't
looking
know.
in a mirror?
It might as well be, because both of them have ties to the Yakuza. Both of them, at one point or another, are avenging a death in their family. But I don't know if their motivations are different. She seems to be a bit more focused on exacting revenge for revenge's sake, whereas Kabuki is very, very serious about one person and one person only. It's not like a bloodbath the whole way through. So I have to do some more reading to find out for sure, but I thought it was really cool that we have two characters that are almost walking toe to toe, but aren't on the same path somehow.
Who did Kabuki?
David Mack.
David
Thank
Mack,
you, thank you.
and that
Yeah.
is a beautiful book.
Yeah, he did some phenomenal stuff on that book
Is this before or after he went on to do like Daredevil covers?
before.
Okay,
Well, before, yeah.
okay.
I mean, that's kind of where he made his name. He was pals with Brian Michael Bendis.
Yep.
And that whole crew out of Portland and such. But did you want to? You handed me this book.
I don't know. This is my favorite book that we found, I think, throughout the entire week. Sultry Teenage Super Foxes.
It's trying to capitalize both on the bad girl phenomenon and Teenage Mutant Ninja
Yes.
Turtles.
Yes.
So yeah, why not have a kids program called Sultry Teenage Super Foxes? Maybe that's what they were going for, or maybe it's parody. I don't know. I think they're just trying to sell books. But yeah, these girls are hanging out at an Air Force base, I think, and then
That's where I would hang out if I was a girl.
yeah, it makes sense. And there's some mystical stuff happening too.
Actually, I like the way it's illustrated.
Yeah, it's not bad, right? Yeah, every once in a while, like somebody gets a shot to do one of these books, and they kind of go all out.
Kabuki is about the only character that did not cross over with She.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, I was trying to look it up on the computer here, but the computer is so slow.
Is it because David Mack has a little bit of integrity?
Maybe.
Probably.
I mean, didn't his stuff get put up alongside like Egon Schiele drawings and Gustav Klimt drawings? I think it did. I think there was a big art show out in like L.A. or something like that.
We've had this discussion before.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's legit big time artist. Did anything even happen? In
I don't
this
think
issue?
anything happened in this comic. I think
Oh,
it's just the cover that.
they did get some powers in here somehow.
Nah, I think it's just the cover that got me.
I'm a sucker for this kind of thing though. When they do the halftones on the dark side of the face, I like that effect. But yeah, kind of middling. Not really a whole bunch of stuff going on here. Got 2 advertisements for Reagan's Raiders though.
Are they the ones that damaged our economy to this day?
Yeah, but I won't go into that.
It's another podcast.
I don't think that's a podcast.
The comic shop does politics.
Yes.
No, I think that's a good idea to stay away from that.
I don't know. It sounds like fun to me.
Well, maybe I'll be conspicuously absent for that podcast.
And then we
Well,
could state,
AI.
we
AI.
could, we could state your opinions for you.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
yeah.
do that.
Aaron
Well-
left a prepared statement.
Oh God,
What were we missing?
what are we missing? Let
Did
me
we
check.
talk
Talk about
Joseph Michael Linzer at all?
We brought up Dawn. Did we talk about Evangeline at all? A little bit?
Evangeline?
Evangeline.
Well, that's the Rob Liefeld character. We did talk
Yeah.
about her a little bit. Glory was on there.
Did we talk about when they made her pregnant to sell more comics?
No.
Go into that.
Yeah, after the first Evangeline series, I guess Rob Liefeld was really, really hoping that he could set himself apart from the rest of the generic girl books that he was himself putting out at the time. So he launched the second volume of Evangeline with what nobody would have ever thought would have happened, and she was pregnant. Maybe it had something.
Oh, because this needs to do with that cover we've talked
Yeah.
about before. With it's not the Janet Jackson cover; it's the what cover?
Vanity.
I mean, if you're dressed like that in a fight, something's bound to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not
And-
that unexpected.
But what I find interesting is that the model who
I've defeated the villain, but now I'm pregnant.
the human
Come on.
Evangeline, because Rob Liefeld hired a woman to model for all of the Evangeline covers as well, was also pregnant at the time.
Who
So
was a Vampirella, I believe, before
she
he.
was a Vampirella.
Yep, she's a
before,
Vampirella girl
yes.
first. Yeah, sure. That's a fun fact.
So I don't know if there's a tie there, or if Rob just figured, well, my character's gonna be pregnant, so you should get pregnant. I don't know what he thinks.
Yeah, they didn't come up in the podcast, or at least I don't remember it.
Heavy Face Bear says the comic shop does a politics episode 1 9/11. Is it an inside job? Well, comic
Oh,
books
my
can't
God.
melt steel. I know that as a fact.
They're very hard to light on fire.
They're very hard to light on fire. We
Notable book burner, Evan Coy.
notable book burner.
But yeah, I literally just got this in the mail. The best of Crypt of Dawn, like right before the
Do you wanna do
podcast
an
started.
unboxing?
I haven't actually. Huh?
No.
Yeah,
go
you can talk. We're having a
Uh,
side conversation.
I haven't really had a chance to flip through and read it, but it's from I think Sirius Entertainment. So this is an actual trade paperback when Sirius was still a company. They may still be a company, but probably not. A lot of them went
Yeah.
under.
They do satellite radio now.
They do.
Yeah, that's true. But some different artists in here. One of my favorite artists working today, Jason Sean Alexander, has some stuff in here.
From Seinfeld?
No, Jason Sean
How
Alexander.
have you made that joke before?
Yes.
I don't
That's
think
a
I,
good joke.
I don't think I did.
95. Oh, I
Someone
like
had
that
to
these
have.
pages are actually numbered. His style is totally different in this, but I still like it. Kind of an interesting thing.
Is it black and white? That's weird.
Dawn?
Yeah.
The first Dawn, I think, or maybe the first like true Dawn story is in color, but before that, it was black and white for the Crypt of Dawn stuff.
I probably have never read a single word of Dawn, so I'm just familiar with covers.
I was flipping through some other stuff. I got the very first one, and it looks pretty snappy. I flipped through a preview of the second volume of Dawn. That seems pretty snappy too. It seems like maybe not the greatest writing, but there is a story and things do happen, and it doesn't dwell too long in like Neil Gaiman
Comics
Type.
can't melt steel.
like long diatribes about Shakespeare and humanity and stuff like that. It keeps things moving, and it's pretty. So
We have one other thing, actually, that Martin just reminded me of. And I'm going to defer to you, Aaron, because you have the
Uh-oh.
document camera. And actually, I just
Take it from him.
what I did.
we're going to do a little unboxing here.
We're gonna be unboxing.
So I just started to cut this open, but this is artwork from Kevin Delgado,
Oh, my.
who we recently backed his book. 'Cause I think all of us backed. Well, it doesn't. Most of us backed his book. All of us backed his book. For
Is
Tough
it-
Stuff, the toughening.
It's
And he
already
sent me
open.
a piece. I know I just cut it open because I didn't want to fool around with a knife on
All right,
camera.
here we go.
And it's a piece of original art that we got.
Bam.
Look at that.
Ooh,
It's
yeah.
a nice envelope.
I like this page too because if you look in the printed book, we got a little Wesley the Robot shot out.
Okay,
right
hold
there.
it on. Yeah, hold it up over here.
No, don't
hold it
It's-
up.
It's taking forever to get over on our screen.
There it is.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Now back to our two viewers.
Oh, Caetano. Hi, Caetano. Neil Gaiman is very wordy, yes, but I love him.
I do not.
Oh, yeah, Martin, would you like to just...
No, I just hate his
He's
guts.
done some good stuff.
The only Neil Gaiman I've read is anything he wrote for Spawn. That's it, and that's
You
That's
should
better
read
than
the
Todd McFarlane's.
you should read the Two Death miniseries.
I'll do that, and I'll read the first volume of. I'll read the first volume of
You think so?
Sandman to look at Sam
He-
Keats.
oh, not Death specifically. Neil Gaiman in general.
I tend to agree. I'm not. Yeah, he's not my favorite. And the more he goes away from the initial horror kind of theme of Sandman, and he gets more fantastical, which is kind of it goes against what I usually say about horror because I like some fantasy mixed into horror, but it goes so hard into fantasy, he kind of loses me. Like when he did the Shakespeare, I know he got all the awards for that, but when he did that, he kind of lost me as a reader. Like,
Caetano says Neverwhere is awesome.
it may be
Marvel
I haven't read-
1602 is not.
It is not. I think that's when I noticed the wheels were coming off the bus, and the Neil Gaiman bus, and I was like, yeah, I don't think I like this.
Yeah, Norse mythology has a steady fan base, I guess. Here we sell.
I've heard
Nor-
positive.
Norse
I feel
Mythology is
that, yeah.
a good seller.
Yep.
I mean, I feel like every time he's done 3 of those,
I think it's 3. I don't think there's a
I'm going to
fourth
say
one
that he's
yet,
done 3 of them, and I think they've all been very good sellers. Have I read them? No.
I did very much enjoy the
David
the,
Mack did the variants on at least one of the series.
Yeah,
Yes.
well,
Nice.
David Mack's awesome. The what was it? The Terry Pratchett Good Omens TV show. I did enjoy quite a bit. I haven't read the book that I know he wrote it with Terry Pratchett, but that was pretty good. But yeah, this is some nice original stuff. I liked that it came in a little case.
I've never seen. It's a giant top loader that it's in.
Yeah.
I've never
Nice.
seen that before for original art,
That's pretty cool.
but it's literally a giant top
'Cause, yeah,
loader.
it's usually the flimsier.
Because I thought too, and how it was packaged, I was like,
Oh,
oh
you're
man, I hope it's not damaged.
It's
But
in the library.
yeah.
Very
So
cool.
anyway, is it? Now we need to talk about this real quickly. Is it controversial if I give this piece to Aaron and have him doodle his Wesley where it was superimposed in
Oh,
the
on
actual
the- on
printed
the-
version of the book?
It's like a.
I don't want to. I don't
don't
want to
think
disrespect
so.
somebody's art, but also it was a reference to Wesley in the book to
Yeah.
have a Wesley. And I mean, it's a postage stamp doodled in there. I think would be kind of cool.
I mean, you own it. So
It's like a collaboration.
yeah, I just don't want to disrespect somebody's art, so maybe I'll have to ask him.
So just
about
ask him.
I did get a great piece of original art from him too, but I didn't bring that with
Are
me.
you feeling excluded?
Maybe I'll bring that next time.
No,
No,
I'm
okay.
good.
No, I meant not getting original art.
Oh no, I have a wonderful sketch cover from Kevin
Well, yes,
that he
that's
did it the last time.
Yeah,
he
so we
had
have
signing
original
here.
art too. Yeah, you guys
Yeah.
are special.
it. We are.
Well, I
special.
didn't.
TNA
claim,
over here are special too.
I didn't claim to be
Got a
special.
strong guy and a colossus.
Yeah, that's excellent. And I got to get some sketch covers made up of Wesley 9,
You should.
or maybe even maybe do like a 1, 2, 3, 4.
Caetano, how's
Charles.
Nickel City?
Oh
He's-
yeah,
he's-
how did Nickel City go?
Or is that not yet? Is that tomorrow?
Or
did that happen?
that is this upcoming weekend,
Okay.
right? I don't think it has happened yet.
Or has it?
Nickel City is this
Nickel City
weekend.
You'll have to let us know how it goes.
Yeah, we're excited for you. I think that's going to be a good con.
Yeah, if word is good on that, maybe I'll do that next year.
Poor Nickel Con.
Yeah, they have no idea the failure that's coming their way. No, I'm just kidding.
We're talking about Aaron, not you, Katana.
Yeah, Caetano, we know you're going to be a big success.
Yes. What? Did you see the comment in the chat there?
Yes, I did.
When are we going to get Wesley trade paperback? I'm working hard on it. I've been redoing all the lettering of all the previous pages. I have about 100 pages of lettering to go.
And bringing in some consistency throughout the whole thing. You're
Yes.
like you mentioned that you're incorporating some of the sound effects and things that you
Did
brought
in
in
9.
later. Yep. So
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot of deluxe things in there. All the interviews are going to be in there. All of the there's some more artwork that I still have to do. Like I'm going to have a custom made table of contents. Like if you've ever looked at the Grand Design Marvel things by Ed Piskor, Jim Rugg, and Tom Scioli, I'm going to have a custom made thing with all the like a whole bunch of little characters drawn around the thing there. I got to draw the back cover.
Oh, I should change the camera, huh?
There's going to be some fake ads for different products that show up throughout it. There's just a bunch of work going on. So just hold on. I am really cooking to try to get that rolled out with a Kickstarter early next year.
Do I have anything in there?
What do you mean?
In your book? Do I have a pinup or anything?
I have multiple Wesley things. I haven't gotten to that point where I collect everything yet, but I definitely have some of your stuff.
I demand a spot.
I'll give you a postage stamp sized
That's fine.
little spot there.
Or can you do like with all of your creator quotes? Can I just get a quote on the back cover that like nobody will know who I am?
Yes. Yeah, just be a lot of quotes on the back.
Evan Coy, local smut peddler, and you can put me
And
with,
book burner.
you can put me with Michael Evan Oming and all the other good quotes that you got. Ed Piskor and
Any inspiration from Wesley Crusher behind the naming?
Shut up, Wesley.
The reason for
I can't. The
I know,
Shut
it's
Up Wesley
broken.
button doesn't work.
I certainly don't mind that connection, but if you read the book, there's a pretty explicit reason why he is called Wesley.
Not Weasley.
It took me 2.5 years before Aaron explained it to me, and then I was like, "Oh, why didn't you make that more clear?" But it's actually kind of clear. Like
And the
if-
remaster makes it even clearer.
I do.
yeah. So
Yeah, I gotta tell you, the new lettering on there punches everything up. Because good lettering makes everything look better.
yes.
It disguises the bad art.
Oh, yeah, the bigger the word
Words
balloon,
that
the
you-
less
you're
art you
gonna-
need
yeah,
to see.
it's-
Well, that is a trick you can do too. But I mean, when the text is good, it levels everything else up. When you get good lettering, it makes everything else look good. It makes the writing look smarter, which I did not expect.
More intelligenter.
More intelligenter, absolutely, more intelligenter. Just like this podcast on Bad Girls.
Yeah,
And look, it's a
It went-
perfect wrap-up point.
it
We
went-
got 7
yeah.
o'clock.
it went real good because we're smart and stuff.
We're smarting.
And
I'm smarting.
you always want to watch a podcast from 4 white guys talking about Bad Girl comics, full of TNA.
Well, I think we were the target audience for that
Yeah.
at some point.
Yep.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Well,
I think that's it.
you've been listening to a podcast about Bad Girls with me, Aaron Z. Lee. I'm a very bad boy.
Oh, and Evan Coy, I'm also a bad boy, and we're here with regular guest star
Michael Callie, also known as T, right?
and very special guest star.
Boobies.
Have a good night, everybody.
Apologies to Jack Kirby.
Apologies to Jack Kirby.